These two laptops are so evenly matched that by the end, you might be surprised which one actually fits you best. You're choosing between the MacBook Air's Apple M3 and the Vivobook OLED's Intel Core i5-1335U, two very different chips. The MacBook Air has 8 cores split evenly between performance and efficiency, while the Vivobook OLED offers 10 with a different mix. On paper, the Air's 4.05 GHz base frequency and 3 nanometers process look stronger than the Vivobook's 1.3 GHz and 10 nanometers, but these numbers aren't directly comparable across architectures. What matters is that the MacBook Air scores meaningfully higher in real-world benchmarks, so you'll notice smoother multitasking and faster editing or coding throughout your day. MacBook Air posts 2906 on Geekbench 6 single-core and 11296 multi-core, while Vivobook OLED scores 2136 and 8414. Cinebench 2024 single-core is 133 for MacBook Air and 96 for Vivobook OLED, with multi-core at 676 versus 408. Choosing MacBook Air means your demanding tasks finish faster, and everyday apps feel more responsive throughout the day. Apple's M3 GPU has 10 cores, while the Vivobook OLED uses an integrated Intel GPU. Both are integrated designs. On paper, the M3 GPU is rated at 3.5 teraflops and the Intel at 1.6 teraflops, but these numbers aren't directly comparable. Real-world gaming and creative performance will depend on drivers, optimization, and which apps you use day to day. The Vivobook OLED gives you a 15.6-inch OLED panel, while the MacBook Air is a 13.6-inch IPS LCD. You get a sharper 2560 by 1664 resolution on the MacBook Air, but the Vivobook OLED's 1920 by 1080 screen is larger and more immersive for movies or multitasking. Both are 60 Hz, so that's not much in practice, and that's on top of the graphics tie a moment ago. Coming off its display win, Vivobook OLED also delivers 600 nits brightness versus MacBook Air's 500 nits, so sunlight readability is better when you work outside or near windows. Neither model offers a touchscreen, so navigation stays traditional on both. Dolby Vision on MacBook Air and HDR10 on Vivobook OLED both support HDR, but the difference is unlikely to matter day to day, and both use glossy coatings. MacBook Air's 225 pixels per inch screen is sharper than Vivobook OLED's 141 pixels per inch, but for outdoor use, Vivobook OLED's higher brightness changes more about your daily experience. With 52.6 watt-hours versus 50 watt-hours, the MacBook Air has a slight edge, but not enough to matter day to day. Charging speeds are 30, 35, or 70 watts for the MacBook Air, and 45 or 65 watts for the Vivobook OLED. Both use USB-C for charging, so your cable routine stays simple no matter which you choose. You get 8 GB of RAM as standard on the MacBook Air, double the Vivobook OLED's 4 GB at this price, so multitasking feels smoother from day one. The MacBook Air uses LPDDR5 memory, while the Vivobook OLED has DDR4. On paper, that difference is unlikely to matter much day to day. You can't upgrade RAM after purchase on the MacBook Air, but you can on the Vivobook OLED if you need more later. Both offer 256 GB SSD storage as standard, and both use M2 NVMe drives at this price. Only the Vivobook OLED lets you upgrade storage after purchase, while the MacBook Air does not. That flexibility means you can expand later if your needs grow, and that's on top of the MacBook Air win a moment ago. Choosing the MacBook Air at 1.24 kilograms instead of the Vivobook OLED at 1.7 kilograms means your bag feels lighter all day. At 11.3 millimeters thick versus 19.9 millimeters, the MacBook Air slips into tight spaces more easily. Aluminum on the MacBook Air gives a sturdier, more premium feel than the Vivobook OLED's plastic build. Both offer Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3, so wireless connections are identical in daily use. MacBook Air gives you 2 USB 4.0 ports, while Vivobook OLED has just one USB 3.2 port. Thunderbolt 3 on the MacBook Air means you can plug into fast drives or displays without adapters, unlike the Vivobook OLED. Both keep the audio jack, but the MacBook Air's ports make it easier to connect everything you need. MacBook Air gives you a backlit keyboard, while Vivobook OLED offers standard island keys without backlighting. Key travel is 1 mm on MacBook Air and 1.4 mm on Vivobook OLED, so your fingers get a softer landing. Vivobook OLED adds a numpad, while its webcam is 720p HD versus MacBook Air's sharper 1080p FHD. Both have fingerprint readers, but if you type a lot, Vivobook OLED's deeper keys and numpad change your daily comfort. You get 6 CPU options with the Vivobook OLED, while the MacBook Air only gives you one, so you have more flexibility to match your needs and budget. For RAM, the MacBook Air offers 8 GB, 16 GB, or 24 GB, while the Vivobook OLED gives you 4 GB, 8 GB, or 16 GB, and for storage, the MacBook Air has 256 GB, 512 GB, or 2 TB, while the Vivobook OLED offers 256 GB, 512 GB, or 1 TB, so the Vivobook OLED's wider CPU range is the main way it changes your choices at checkout. At $999, the MacBook Air costs $150, more than the $849 Vivobook OLED, and that gap is real money. For that, you get the MacBook Air's stronger performance, more memory, and a more refined design, but the Vivobook OLED still matches it in total category wins and costs less. The MacBook Air comes in black, silver, and gray. The Vivobook OLED in black and silver. Prices are linked in the description below. MacBook Air is for anyone who wants the fastest performance, best benchmarks, and a lighter, more refined design with stronger connectivity in a compact 1.24 kilograms package. If you care most about a larger OLED panel or need more storage flexibility, skip it. The real hesitation: you pay $150 more and give up both a bigger 15.6-inch OLED screen and upgradable storage. Vivobook OLED is for anyone who wants a big, vibrant 15.6-inch OLED screen, a brighter 600 nit panel, and more flexibility in CPU and storage choices at a lower price. Skip it if you care most about portability or memory for heavy multitasking. The one reason to hesitate: it ships with just 4 GB RAM at this price, which limits heavy multitasking. Which would you pick, the MacBook Air or the Vivobook OLED, and why? Drop a comment, like the video, and subscribe to Computer Matrix for more honest laptop comparisons.